Hello there.
Yes, hello there and welcome to today's lore video featuring the RA-7 Protocol Droid. Now, the RA-7, which was otherwise known as just the RA-7 Infantry Droid, or by its nickname, the Death Star Droid, was a model of protocol droid manufactured by RA-7 Industries. Best known for their military and espionage droids that are built for the Empire, RA-7 Industries was somewhat obscure and in limited operation before Palpatine's rise to power. After Palpatine became Emperor, however, RA-7's bosses exploited all their connections along with aggressive, targeted lobbying to get the first contracts with the new Empire, and before long, they were the Empire's preferred droid supplier, best known for their G2RD guard droids and the Viper probe droids, like the one that discovered the rebel base on Hoth. Now, it was due to this distinguished history that the ISB approached RA-7 with a very specific, not to mention sinister request, and the result of this request was the RA-7. Its first debut was shown at the North Quadrant Intergalactic Automaton show, and on the face of it, it was just what RA-7 Industries claimed it to be, which was an attempt to duplicate most of the abilities of the 3PO series of protocol droids. However, compared to the 3PO series, it did nothing but disappoint. Now, RA-7s were humanoid in shape with an insectoid head, which was equipped with broadband photoreceptors featuring an anti-glare coating, and they stood around 1.7 meters in height. But also, unlike the 3PO series, who had delicate personalities, RA-7s were programmed to be stern but bland. Clumsy, inept, and stupid, it was equipped with the most inexpensive parts money could buy. In fact, RA-7's carefully earned reputation was seriously tarnished after its release. But they did fulfill the RSB's requirements to the letter, and they proceeded to buy up the entire production run and were then donated to offices of high-ranking Imperial officials, military officers, and Coruscant dignitaries. And all this was a front, however. The droids had secret surveillance systems installed in their heads, hidden beneath layers of benign cognitive circuitry. The espionage unit was hidden behind sensor bafflers that were disguised as soldering welds, and would record everything using extremely sensitive audio pickups and low-light photoreceptors. Both harmless and inoffensive, whilst also being ignored, the droids were able to obtain huge amounts of private data and would make periodic dumps of said data via encrypted frequencies on standard public comm units to the Imperial Security Bureau. Following these communications, some of the droids' owners would find themselves being invited to Coruscant under false pretenses, and then, more often than not, would never return. However, no espionage device lasted forever, and as those targeted by the droids began to uncover hidden recording devices and surveillance equipment in these pretty much useless droids, they began to deliberately hide, misplace, or lose them to avoid attention and branding as traitors for spurning a gift from the Emperor. And this often led them to be found in junk shops and droid auctions. Now, with the destruction of the majority of their droids and the detection of their program, the Bureau decided to cancel the RA-7 droid surveillance initiative about a year after the Battle of Yavin. Now, when it comes to how the RA-7s got their nicknames as Death Star droids, most tend to think it was just because a lot of them were stationed on the Death Star. But there was actually a bit more to it than that. When the first Death Star came online, the ISB actually grew concerned that Grand Moff Tarkin would attempt to use the superweapon to overthrow the Empire. And unable to trust the Grand Moff or any of his subordinates, the Bureau then stationed thousands of RA-7s on the Death Star in order to pretty much spy on everyone to stop that from happening, thus earning them their nickname, the Death Star Droids. Although a lot of the RA-7s actually did find this name to be a bit of a derogatory term, as overall, only a small percentage of the model actually worked on the battle station. And that is the RA-7 Protocol Droid, otherwise known as the Death Star Droid. So, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you all in the next one, and until then, may the Force be with you.